Hey, good morning. It's great to see you today. I'm going to just be a little bit quicker here today because, as you can see, I'm not at home. I'm in Karen's studio here. Karen's notable by absence. She's actually doing some sketching in the cafe in detail. So it's the art shop here. So that's open. The cafe's open just on the Saturday. So she's in there doing that, and hopefully that'll be good for her. Anyway, so it's Saturday, 22nd of July. This is where we are. Sorry I'm a bit late, but we've been getting down here to do this, and as well today, later on, it's her daughter-in-law's birthday tomorrow, and they're coming around for tea. So I've had to do a lot of running around. I was at Morrison's at 8 o'clock this morning. Yes, I was organised. So anyway, so today's verse, it's verse 8 from chapter 13 of Romans. We're continuing there. Sorry about yesterday as well. It says, "Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbour, you will fulfill the requirements of God's law." So owe nothing to anyone. If you do owe someone something, pay them back. Pay them back. Owe nothing to them except what? Your obligation to love one another. Jesus said that they will know you are my disciples. How? If you have love one for another. So if you're saying there is a law, well, actually, Jesus said, they said, what is the most important commandments? And I don't know whether it was Jesus said this or this Pharisee said it, but he said that love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbour as yourself. Who is your neighbour? Well, your neighbour is everyone. Your neighbour is everyone. That is, so if there's going to be, if you want to live your life according to something, live your lives according to that command to love God with everything you've got, everything, everything God. This is why I can't be doing this when people come into church and involved in worship, and they're just standing there with their hands in their pockets. I just don't get that. I really, sorry if that's you, but I just don't get it. We're called to love God with everything we have, everything. We're going to lay, that's what they say in the football matches, isn't it? God, I left it all out there on the field. That's what we need to do with God. We're worshipping God. We're praising God. We need to leave it all out there. Leave it all out there. Just really to go for it. To raise our hands, and we think just because we raise our hands that we're charismatic. No, we should be dancing, we should be shouting, we should be jumping, we should be clapping, we should be, worship should not be I would say, worship is a quiet, private thing. Rubbish. Did Jesus die on the cross in quietly he did it in a public place. Therefore, he deserves the glory and the praise and glory and honor due to his name. So don't give me that. So that's what we need to do. And I think, well, it's not really me. I'm a quiet person. Well, that's why they call it a sacrifice of praise. To love God with everything you have, and then what? Love your neighbor as yourself. Who's my neighbor? And then Jesus told us the story of the Good Samaritan. And basically was so the Samaritan, and they were Israelites, and Samaritans were sworn enemies. That actually he helped his enemy. It's a bit like someone helping a Palestinian or Palestinian helping someone Jewish today. That's the same kind of thing is there. Only have one obligation, which is to love God, to love your neighbour as yourself, to love one another. If you love your neighbour, you're fulfilling the requirements of God's law. It's a command. We said, well, we live under grace. Yes, but we still have the commandments are still important. Jesus didn't come to disband the commandments and say, we don't have to worry about those. No, he said, I have come to fulfill them. That one about loving God, honouring God with everything that we have, that's still there. We still need to do that. If we don't, wow. This is it's in Luke, I think chapter 14 or one of those ones there. I think it says, maybe it's not Luke. Anyway, but it says, if my people love me, they will obey my commands. And then Jesus then went on to say about the story about the man who, we remember the story of the wise man built his house upon the rock and the foolish man built his house upon the sand. The context of that was what? The first line to introduce that was, if my people, if they love me, they follow my commands, they are like a wise man who built his house upon the rock, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on to say that. So we need to love God with everything. We need to we had a great, last night, played five-a-side. I had a really great game. Nearly everything I did, worked out. scored a few goals, and my friend said to me, he said, Mike, he said, that's the best I've seen you play last night. And I must admit, I was on a good team, and the team were great, and they played really well. But I kind of came home. I was tired, but I was happy. Why? Because I kind of, like I said, I'd worked hard. I'd run my heart out, and I'd left, if you like, left it all on the pitch. That's what I want to do for God. That's what we should do, because God is worthy of the praise and glory and honor. And so, if you do that, you ain't going to go far wrong. So, and loving, and we need to love one another with that same kind of passion, that same kind of intensity. And in doing so, we bring glory and honor to God. Listen, hope you have a great day today. Take care. Pray for us as we're here at the studio. Have a good day. Take care. God bless. See you at church tomorrow or back here on Monday. Like and share this. That would be great. That'd be so cool. Okay, listen, take care. Bye-bye. God bless.